Record, and we're now recording.
And we're transcribing too, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, and welcome to the Blurring the Lines podcast, episode 238. I am your host, Peter Nikolaidis, and joining me, as always, my co-host, Adam Bell.
How you doing, Peter? How do you say good night in German?
Good night, as in like good night going away, is gute Nacht.
Good Nacht.
Gute
But
Nacht. But
how,
guten Abend is more like good evening.
okay, good evening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like
Guten Abend.
good
Guten
Abend.
Tag, so
Careful.
yeah, I mean, it'd be like good day, good morning, good afternoon. People would generally say like good day, or it depends when in the afternoon, right? But there's like guten Tag is good day, guten Abend is generally good evening, good morning is guten Morgen. So there you go. I should have said guten Abend, guten Morgen, or guten. Wait, I got them wrong. Oder guten Tag. Und willkommen in Blurring the Lines podcast.
Yeah. Well, you are more tired than me. I mean, you've been up. You're 7 hours longer.
Well, that's the funny part. 8. I mean, no, wait. 2. You're 2 hours difference, right? No, you're 1 hour different. You're 1 hour from Eastern. Or you?
Yeah, from Eastern.
Yeah, you're 1 hour. Yeah, no, we're
Mm-hmm.
only we're 8 hours difference. No, wait. Oh my gosh,
7.
no, we are 7. Sorry, I keep on thinking you're 1 off from Scott. You're 2 off from Scott. I'm 3 off from Scott, except now I'm 9 off from Scott. So yes, I am 7 off from you. Oh man, time zones are so freaking hard. Not to make this the same. Like I try to differentiate all the podcasts that I'm on, but we were griping about podcasts on the previous podcast that I was on too. Because time zones just blow. So anyway, time zone. That's very related to some other stuff that I've got going on.
All right.
Well, one thing is, as we know, at the time of this recording, by the time you hear this, I'll be back stateside, unless I decide to stay here, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But I am in Berlin, Germany right now, just relocating for a few weeks just to see what life is like on the other side of the pond. This is the longest that I've ever stayed in Europe, in Germany, and so it's my longest trip over here. Not my longest trip out of the country. I've been gone on longer trips for sure. So, but that is the longest one over on this continent. So,
are you considered to be a citizen? I know you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have any time restrictions on you. You could stay there for the rest of your life if you chose.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if I got a job tomorrow, I'd be in the apparently enrolled in the German healthcare system for life too. So maybe I should look at that yoga teacher, the opening that was at the studio I was at yesterday. Well, I'm here. So, but I mean, I've been here time is flying, right? I've been here for 12 days already. It's like, I was like, wow, it's, time is moving along. My sleep has not been great due to a couple of things. One being jet lag, 2 being recurring shoulder discomfort, and it was bad enough for a couple of days there that I thought I had re-torn my rotator cuff again.
Yuck.
I don't think that's the case. Because on Monday I got a massage, and I thought at the time it was a good massage, nothing special. But for the next 2 nights, I slept without difficulty and without pain for the first time in weeks. So turns out it was a delayed onset great massage.
Yeah.
So I was very happy about that. But besides that pain and besides jet lag and also just, eating too late or drinking too late at night, again, a residual effect of jet lag. The pillow that I have here at my Airbnb is atrocious. It's one of those super fluffy down, like goose feather type thing with absolutely no structure to it. And I tried the first night to just live with it, and that was terrible. And then the next night, I just grabbed my towel and rolled it up into a
Mm-hmm.
neck roll and used that. And I can go to sleep like that, but I don't stay asleep like that. So that
Yeah.
didn't work. Finally, today, I went to a shopping center, one that I had been at last year, and I just bought a new pillow. And it's small, it's smaller than normal size, but it shrinks down. It's not like as dense as like like a Tempur-Pedic kind of
Hmm.
pillow, but it's much more. It's got a lot more heft to it than that featherweight thing that I've been trying to sleep on.
Right.
So I'm really hopeful that that's going to do the trick tonight. Of course, I realized I forgot to buy a pillowcase for it, so I just shoved it into one of my t-shirts. So hoping that that will make the difference, because tomorrow morning is Saturday, and Saturday is generally my long run day.
Hmm.
So last week it did not happen because I slept so poorly Friday night. I just took it as a rest day and just goofed off. It was a write-off day. But my hope is to get a real solid night's sleep tonight, because tomorrow I'll be running with a running club for at least part of my run.
Hmm.
So they're about 3 or so miles away from where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
And so the plan is that I'll get up early, leave here around 8 a.m., run to the running store where they meet, run with them for around an hour plus, and probably run for about 2 more hours after that. So
Are they all German, or are they mixed bag of people?
no idea.
No idea.
They're if you want to look them up online, they're the Optimistic Runners group, and apparently it's I guess it's at a store called Optimistic Runners. So I'll be joining there. I'll find a link so you don't have to Google for it. But yeah, plan is that I'll join them tomorrow at the running store. Who knows? Maybe I'll if I like it, maybe I'll buy something while I'm there. Like, oh yeah, these shoes of mine really do suck. Sell me a new pair, right?
Oh.
So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But this will be my um, first group run here in Germany. I mean, well, technically, when I was here in 2019, I ran with two of my cousins and one of my cousin's friends. So there were four of us. So I guess that counts as a group run too.
Hmm.
So this will be my second group run in Germany. So
All right.
there you go. Um, so yeah, and again, like I said, it's kind of late here, so I'll just bang right through all my topics if you don't mind, and then we
All right, I'll
can
go.
go through whatever you got. So Garmin update.
Hmm.
So, as I said, I've been covering more of the technical side of things over on the Friends with Brews podcasts, but here more, since you're into CrossFit, we're both into fitness, which is not to say Scott isn't, but again, nice little delineator. As you know, I've been rocking the Garmin Forerunner for about a month and a half now, since
Hmm.
July 31st. And only within the last couple of days have I realized that Garmin apparently thinks that I sleepwalk a lot and very, very consistently. It has been racking up a few to several miles a day of extra running/walking distance since I got it.
I thought it only showed a quarter of a mile.
That was a quarter of a mile per hour.
Oh, per hour.
Yes. And I only know that for the time when I'm asleep. I'm not sure if it's adding that on during the daytime also, when I'm also active. So I went back and I looked, and I found like on September 9th, it said that between the hours of around 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. or something, that I walked/ran 2.3 miles. And so I drilled into Apple Health. And what's really interesting is you look at it and you see the distance for every hour is identical until I actually get up and start moving. So this is not, and I emailed them. I think I sent you the same email
Mm-hmm.
that I sent them, and I got the generic, canned response. They're like, "Well, here are reasons that it might be inaccurate. Maybe you're wearing it in the shower. Maybe you're carrying a bag of groceries with one hand, so you're not swinging your arms. Maybe you have restless sleep." I was like, "Look, yes, no question. I have had restless nights of sleep, and my sleep has been terrible." But look at what I sent you. Like, it is the same exact duration every hour. Now, day over day, it's not the same. Like on one day, it'll say I ran 2/10 of a mile every hour. On another day, it's 0.28 miles. And another day, it's 0.23. But every day, like on Monday, every hour, I ran 0.23 miles. And every hour on Tuesday was 0.28 miles. I was like, this is not some kind of just random fluke. Unless the reason for my feeling, waking up and feeling so, dead in the morning is that I really am a sleepwalking insomniac, and I am the most consistent one to ever sleepwalk this planet.
You need to video yourself tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the problem. So that was
That'd
kind
be
of
awesome if it were
fun.
true, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if awesome is the word I would put on that there, dude.
Find out that you get up every night and walk down to the corner and buy ice cream
turn
and
around,
turn around
walk down
and
and go buy another one.
yeah.
Just doing laps. Yeah, but that's the thing, is like those laps are not showing up. Well, I mean, of course, if I don't record it as a workout, it's not going to actually show up, right? But here's the thing. So they sent me, I got that completely generic knowledge base article, like we're not even trying, it's like we made a vague effort to understand the problem you reported. That was the effort that they gave me. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got the, hey, how did we do customer service response? That just
Mm-hmm.
came in today too. And I was like, terrible. Still have the problem. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then I followed up with more screenshots showing day over day, showing, like, look, here's the last 5 days. Look at, explaining, basically visualizing what I had explained in the email. Next email I get from them is, please confirm your order.
Oh my
And then
God.
I was reading my emails in reverse order, because helpfully that's the default that most mail clients do these days. And I clicked, and the next order was like, oh, okay, since that issue didn't, since the knowledge base articles didn't fix the issue, we'll just do an exchange. So I'm getting a new watch. I am not convinced it's the watch. This really feels to me like a software problem. So I'm
Yeah.
not really convinced this is going to fix it, but we'll find out. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little skeptical. So
Unless they know something you don't know.
maybe they do, right? In which case they were just stalling to see if I would just go away.
Yeah.
So yeah. But more on the so yeah, that was I guess, again, I was going to talk more about the physical aspect of things rather than the technical side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a couple of technical things too. So as discussed on a previous episode of Friends with Brews, Scott and I each have I think it's GLI brand routers, and they have Tailscale clients built in, right? And
Right.
we've talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having performance problems with my router. Now, with me, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with my hands. I've got great hands. But my router has a problem. When I have enabled Tailscale, the performance on the router was terrible, even sometimes after I had disabled using exit nodes. And that
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand, because it shouldn't be affecting routing. Now, for the last few days, it has been fairly solid, but I've not been using the router as an exit node. No big deal, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a super. It's frustrating that it gets super slow and is unreliable, but in a pinch, I can use it. Okay, fine, whatever. Um, I brought with me an Amazon Fire TV stick,
Mm-hmm.
because that's less work than carrying around a full-on Apple TV square, hockey puck, right?
Right.
And everything was fine, except The other day or last night, I was fiddling with it, and I was trying to, what was I trying to do? I was trying to disable tail scale. I was doing something with tail scale. I don't remember what it was, but I was trying to change the wireless network that it was on. And what I ended up doing was enabling tail scale with my Apple TV back at home set as the exit node.
Oh my.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to do. Now I remember. So I was trying to watch something on HBO, and since I didn't have tail scale enabled, it thought I was in Germany, and so
Yeah.
it wouldn't work. So I
Right.
figured, well, heck, I will just enable my tail scale exit node. And as soon as I did that, it dropped all access to local area network devices, including my iPhone, which I've been using as the remote control for my Fire TV stick.
Yay.
So suddenly I can't watch TV anymore, so, which is not the end of the world, right? Not like I'm sitting here for hours at a time, every night watching it. And I suppose if I just turned off internet access, that might work, but that didn't work. And then I also got a report from one of my other devices that the Apple TV that I was trying to use as an exit node back home was offline. So presumably it went to sleep and it's not waking up. So I'm not sure if that's why tail scale on the Fire TV is hosed, or it's just because tail scale is enabled and it's not configured to allow LAN access. So, but I was like, with everything else I've got going on, if I really want to watch something, it's a smart TV. I could enter my YouTube or my Netflix credentials onto this, TV, or frankly, I could just watch it on my MacBook if I really want to. It's not that big a deal. I
So
didn't come all the way to Germany just to watch TV.
yeah. So your Fire Stick won't get on the internet now at all?
It doesn't seem to. But I don't know. I mean, even I think actually I take that back. I think it does because like some of the
Oh, you didn't bring a
previews would
remote.
load. I didn't bring a physical remote. And the
Oh,
thing is, yes, now you get it, right. And the thing is, I didn't realize that until I had already come back from Vermont to Massachusetts. I left its remote at my place in Vermont
yeah.
because that's where the Fire TV stick usually lives. I just grabbed it and was like, okay, we're good. I got back to Vermont. I was like, I don't have a remote. But what did I do? Somehow I was able to fool it. Um,
You know,
what?
can
Yeah.
you not do a factory reset on it?
I think I could, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Then I have to re-authenticate to Netflix and YouTube and HBO and Disney Plus and Prime and Prime is already built in. I was going to say, and the stick itself, and enter the Wi-Fi creds. Well, of course, the Wi-Fi creds aren't working anyways. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I could just factory reset and start over again, but oh,
Oh.
oh. And
Yeah, I was wondering
actually, though, but even wait, if I did factory reset it though, I'm back to the same problem that I don't remember how I fixed
without
not
a remote.
having the remote the first time. Somehow I did it. I remember I saw somebody online was talking about using a USB keyboard with it, but I don't remember if that's what I did. I honestly, I don't even remember how I fixed it, but somehow I did fix it. Um, but I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out again, or I'm just gonna have to wait until I'm back in Vermont with my remote and figure it out then.
Yeah. I might get me one of those the the Slate 7 portable travel routers. Do you have one of
Yep.
those?
I don't remember which one. Scott and I have two different versions. One of them was slightly well, they're both still supported. They're both current models. I think I have the Slate. I'm not sure though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Overall, I like it a lot. I think it was weird for a few days. Like I said, even if I had exit nodes disabled, tail scale was still really slow, but it's kind of hard to tell too, though, because sometimes the internet here at my Airbnb, it's kind of spotty. It's
Mm-hmm.
generally pretty solid, but it's gotten a little sluggish at times. So it's possible that the performance lag that I was feeling was because of that. But oddly enough, generally, if I ditched the travel router and went directly onto the house Wi-Fi, it seems to work reliably. But you never know. Sometimes when you just make a switch like that, it could be completely, complete coincidence or what. I don't know. That's weird. Not having direct access to the actual router itself, it's hard for me to troubleshoot that. So again, I was like, do I care enough right now? No, not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, well, that's why if I were by myself, I'd just watch it on my iPad.
Yeah, bingo. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm talking to you on my iPad, but I have a larger screened MacBook. Here's the other thing too, is I forgot this. The hosts here helpfully leave an HDMI cable dangling out the back of their TV. I forgot my HDMI adapter.
Yeah.
I meant to pack it. I didn't. So, like, all right, lessons learned. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so cool. All right. What about you had working remotely internet cell schedule? I assume that was all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no, I
Mm.
mean,
No.
like I said, I've been working, keeping an Eastern schedule mostly. I've been
Mm-hmm.
ducking out a little early, like some days around 3 o'clock as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to 4 or so. But my normal work days are around, it's like 9-ish to 4-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things, so one of the things that's not great is, taking work calls that go until 11 p.m. because that's
Yeah.
kind of rough. But one of the things that is nice is without even having to try, having a few, if I want, 3 hours of work time in the morning to do deep work uninterrupted.
Yeah. That's nice.
Because especially on a day when it's a rest day, that I don't have to do whatever. I'm not running. I'm not doing my strength. I'm not going to a yoga class or something. I got plenty of time to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was able to do this proof of concept and set up a YubiKey as two-factor authentication to an Entra ID tenant, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's the kind of thing that, you need to sometimes sit and focus on something for 2-3 hour chunks at a time. And, it's like I was on a call yesterday with one of my colleagues and he was just like, oh, we're gonna, like, the customer wants to, push this back 30 minutes. So, and we were on the call waiting for about 5 or 10 minutes already. He said, well, you can go do something else. I'm like, don't have anything else I can do in 20 minutes right now.
Yeah.
I can check my email
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
Yeah.
Right. I can't do anything with that time. I need to, if I'm going to go into a maker's schedule, I need 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours minimum. Right. I can't just
Mm-hmm.
get anything done because just when I start to hit my groove, oh, time to jump to another call,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Yeah.
so it's been an adjustment, but I think now it's been, we're closing in on 2 weeks now. I could get by here. I could
Mm-hmm.
be happy if you told me tomorrow, Peter, you got to leave the country. You're going to Berlin. I'll be like, cool. you know,
Yeah.
I've got a nice selection of coffee shops. I've been to one yoga studio. Tomorrow I'll be with my first running group. Um, Plenty of places for running, more good restaurants than, that I know what to do with. I have not been the only place that I've gone more than once. I think I've hit the same grocery store twice,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it. Every other time, but I've been to 3 or 4 different grocery stores, maybe 5 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, in general, I try not to do any repeats unless I really, really, really like a place.
Yeah.
Because I want to get some diversity here. I want to see what else is around. That said, I've been tempted to go back to a couple because a couple of the coffee shops that I was at have been really nice. One of the massage studios I was at had really good experience. I really liked the yoga class that I was at, right? But I also, I don't want my experience. What did you think of Berlin? Oh, that coffee shop was great.
Yeah.
you know, so yeah.
Well, so
So
how does the city, because you live in Boston, which is a big city. I mean, you're
yep.
not directly in, New York's just right down the road, so you have
Right.
experienced really big cities. How does Berlin compare and feel compared to these big cities? Does it feel like you're in a big city, or does it feel
It's
different?
it's a bigger city than Boston,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, the population of Berlin is like what, 5 times that of Boston, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still like what, not even a third the size of New York,
Right.
right? What's interesting about Berlin is there's like a lot of the same stuff over and over, right? You know, like at almost every place where the tram or the trolley stops, there's going to be a doner kebab shop, there's going to be a coffee shop, there's going to be a nail salon, you know, a bunch of like the same stuff over and over again. And but then you start to get down into the heart of the city. That's where there's, you know, there's a little more you know, a little more personality. But of course there's like all the chains. Today for the first time I noticed there's, you know, like there's a Five Guys. You know, there's like Five Guys, KFC, Starbucks, Burger King, you know, all the usual suspects are very well represented here, for
Right.
example, right? So if you're missing your American stuff, there, that's
Yeah.
your own fault, right?
Yeah. Search no
Um,
more.
yeah, but you know, it's interesting because like I'm in a right now for the first couple of weeks, I'm in a more rural part of the city, and you know, we're talking like I'm in a two-story apartment building, but a lot of the places around here are just one level homes, and some of them are quite small, right? You know, so you think it's almost like Tuscan villa style things, sort of like out there behind over your shoulder there, you know,
Mm-hmm.
out in the back, right?
Yeah.
Little, you know, little flat Adobe style, you know, shacks essentially. And then, you know, I think I've been here about 4 days or so. It was a rest day. So of course I was like, well, it's a rest day. I'll just go for a 10K walk instead. Wasn't the plan. But I just started walking in a straight line towards the center of town. And it's really interesting because, you know, you go about a mile, well, not even like go half a mile, and then you've got like 4 5-story apartment buildings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like row after row after row, often, you know, like building right up against building, no alleyways in between them or anything. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
building, building, building with the standard, you know, commercial on the bottom, residential above, right? And then they start to get a little taller, and then, you know, another mile down you've got some more modern office or retail type buildings, and then boom, you're right in the center of the city all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden. So, you know, as you walk it, it's pretty interesting. But if when I take the tram in or the bus into the city, it, you know, it hits you a lot more quickly. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
very quickly you get into the city center, and you know, it becomes more commercial, more um you know, more metropolitan very fast.
Right.
So so next week when I move, I'm doing another place towards the southern part of the city. It's going to be a little more of an active, you know, like where the action is, which is
Mm-hmm.
probably fine because most days when I've gone out, I've tended to head in that direction anyway. So, you know, that's all right. But, you know, it's cool. Like there's again, there's a really good bakery just across the street from where I am, but trying to follow my rules, I've only been there once. And right around the corner from that is a woman has you know, like a one woman shop, little restaurant where she serves breakfast and lunch every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there a couple days ago, and I was like, "Yep, this is just like the stuff that, you know, my grandmother used to make. Not quite like my mom. My mom did it a little differently, but you know, a lot of that's fun. There's plenty of Greek restaurants around here too, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny. You wouldn't think, but we're a lot closer to Greece than I am in Boston,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. But again, you know, lots of kebab places and stuff. So no shortage of good food, right? It's that which is it's nice. That's comforting. And all the coffee shops, I've had really good coffee at all the places I've been. So that's nice too. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's there's plenty of places in Boston that I just cannot stand their espresso. It's just so sour and nasty. And I was just like, I don't understand why you guys drink this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, I have not had that experience here. So I'm very happy about that.
Cool.
Ah, what about you working on, how does your experience working in Alabama compare to mine working here?
Well, I work completely over the cell there. There is no
Mhm.
cellular network. There's no internet at the house that I stay at. So I'm
Mm,
there for 2 weeks. But what I do is I tether my phone to my laptop, and
okay.
then my iPad already has cellular in it.
Right.
So I do all of my Teams meetings over on the iPad because then it's got its dedicated. And of course, we're at 5G right there. So it's 5G ultra wide.
Yep.
So it's super fast on both systems. But I did that for 2 weeks, you know, no
Yep.
problems. And I mean, as far as my team members knew, they didn't know the difference of where I was.
Yep.
So I could, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, well, I could go somewhere even without internet in the house as long as cellular is good.
Right. And yeah, and that's the thing that's I've been doing pretty much the same. But when I'm out and about, the first thing I try to do is find like a coffee shop with decent Wi-Fi. And generally when I'm out and about, if I'm going to be sitting around at a coffee shop for like a few hours at a time, I'd like decent Wi-Fi, good coffee, and then a clean restroom. Those are the things I'm asking for, right?
Yeah.
And yesterday I found one minus the Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to take a call. I didn't have any more time
Mm-hmm.
because some of the reviews and things I'm looking on Google Maps and Yelp and Apple Maps and stuff. It's like, here's a place. It's a brew house, a coffee house, but they have a huge beer list as well as coffee. And I was like, all right, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna go there. I'll get a coffee for my first meeting, and then after that, it's going to be evening. I'll get a beer, and as I'll sip that into my second meeting. Maybe I'll stay here for dinner. I get
Yeah.
there, closed up, like closed up, hard closed up. Like there's no furniture inside, closed up. I was like, this thing's supposed to be open now. What the heck? And I kept on moving around and I couldn't find the place. And, so I just I was like, I got to sit down somewhere and I got to get off the street. Right. Because even, you take just a couple of blocks away and you're off the main thoroughfare with the noisy trucks and the buses. And now
Mm-hmm.
you're on like small little streets where there's cars, but they're moving slowly and there's a lot of pedestrian and bicycle traffic. And that's a lot better because you don't hear, loud cars and stuff. Although I gotta say the noise cancellation on the AirPods seems to be pretty darn good these days.
Mm-hmm.
Because more often than not, I'm asking like people are like, "Are you sorry? There's a lot of background noise, so like we can't hear it." It's like I can hear it, but
Yeah.
they can't. So it's like the noise isolation for me is not as good as the noise reduction that they're getting or the noise cancellation they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I had to take this call. And then the place I was in, the coffee shop I was in, had a separate little back room. And at one point, I tried to move in there, and my cell signal went down to like three-quarters of a bar. And so I just couldn't take the call there because the call started breaking up. But normally, when I've been out and about, like today, when I recorded the Friends with Brews, I was in a coffee shop with lightning fast Wi-Fi. It was like I
Yeah.
was getting like 5 milliseconds latency on my pings back to to Google and stuff. And I was like, that's nice. This is the way it was supposed to be.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, but yesterday I was using my cell phone and just chewing up my data. And oh man, I was so mad because I was following all the instructions that Zoom gives you to turn off incoming video. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, look, I tell people, look, I'm on slow cell signal today, so I'm turning off my camera. They're like, okay, no problem.
And they
But I'm
keep theirs
trying to
on.
turn off. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was one of like 8 people on the call, so fine. If you want to have calls, video on, have your video on. I was following all the instructions on Zoom, and some of them don't exist. They're like, go here to turn off incoming video. Well, first you have to set this setting, and if you have a commercial account, you have to do this. Did all those things, and the option to just disable incoming video, not there. So I'm like, this is really annoying. I was like, well, if I take the call directly on my phone and then I background the app, would that work? Because I'm assuming it's not going to be pulling in the video at that point, you
Right.
know? So it's just, that was because I was just like, it's chewing up my bandwidth, but it's bad enough that, sometimes it affects audio quality also. So I was like, no one's benefiting from this video coming in. I'll just turn it off, except you can't. So that kind of sucked.
hmm So, all right. Well, then AI, of course, we've talked about AI a lot, but
Yes.
I'm using AI now more and more in real ways for work,
Okay.
not just hey, show me whatever. I mean, and you have too. I mean, you've been using it to help with writing code and help with
Yep.
PowerShells and I've actually done some HTML work with it. But what I do now is, I evaluate enterprise projects, from a technical standpoint for feasibility and what is keeping them from moving forward. And then I provide, this is what needs to happen in order to move this project forward. Well, it's got a lot of form entry, and I hate form entry.
You hate doing it, like you hate
I hate
filling out forms.
Yeah, I hate filling
Oh, okay.
out. I mean, and it is necessary. Like,
Mhm.
what are the project objectives? Who are the account managers? Who are the service delivery managers? Who are the
Yep.
interested parties? You absolutely need that information, but
Yep.
entering in that information over and over again is terribly tedious. And
I totally agree. I'm trying to roll 2 retirement accounts from one company over to another one where I have all my stuff, and I need to fill out the same form twice, and I have to reconfirm all this stuff, and I have to go through the whole disclosure process with the losing vendor that I already had to go over the exact same ones with the winning vendor. And yeah, so I'm with you. I hate forms. I hate tedium. Sorry,
Mhm.
continue.
So I've got this form that we fill out as the technical team, and it gathers information in this form, and then we attach it to the project ticket to send it forward to move it on. Well, so I was like, okay, let me use Copilot, and I uploaded the form into Copilot, and I told it, look, I need to fill out this form. I'm going to give you all the data entry. Do not change my format. Do not change the form. If you come to a field you don't recognize, leave it alone.
Mhm.
And so I uploaded the data that I needed in this form, from the ticket and then from my own comments, and it filled it perfectly. The only thing that it didn't do was what I told it not to do. Of if it didn't understand what to do with a paragraph, don't do anything with it. And it was the example paragraph. So all I had to do was delete the example paragraph, and it
Mhm.
worked perfectly. It didn't change my formatting. I didn't lose my pictures. I didn't lose any of the bold, the bold lines were all right. The bullet points were all accurate. I was like, this will work. All right.
Mhm.
And so I explained it to my team, and I said, this is how we're going to do this. And I tried it again, the exact same stuff. It didn't work. It absolutely would not fill out the form right. It changed it. I'm like, okay, so it changed a couple things. I'll get over that. I'll refix it. The next time I tried it, it would not put the entry information into the form that it did the time before.
Uh-huh.
And it would, I would say, show me on the screen all the data. And it would show me the screen. It would show it with all the data. I said, okay, the last time you created the form, you didn't put this data in the form. Put this data in the form. Oh, I'm so sorry. And did it. And I open up the form, download the Word document. It's nothing. Nothing's in it. I'm like, how?
Yeah. Which AI are you using for this?
This was Copilot, and
Okay.
because it's not confidential information, but it's semi-confidential. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, well, let me turn on GPT-5 because that's
Mm-hmm.
now a feature of Copilot. So I turned it
Okay.
on, and it didn't help. It wouldn't do it. So I closed the chat, killed it all, and then started it again. And the next one works okay, just slightly different. I'm like, I need this is a computer. I need to be able to replicate a process and input. If I input a structure and I give you the
Yep.
data to fill that structure, it should fill it the same every time, but it does not.
Yep. And again, that's something I should be able to comment more intelligently on that. And I don't remember where that whole thing is and where the deviations come from and the hallucinations and stuff. But I mean, I do know that it's par for the course that you should expect variances every time, even if you give it the same use case over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's that weird fuzzy math. But I'd be curious if different models behave differently, like if, GPT-5 versus Claude 4 versus Copilot, whatever. And also, again, it'd be frustrating if you had to, but like if you narrowed your use case down to like something small, like if you were able to tell it, for instance, like just type the name Fred,
Mm-hmm.
theoretically could come back and type Fred, right? But I'll bet you if you just say again, just type the name Fred, eventually it's going to say, okay, I typed Fred,
Yeah.
right? As opposed to FRED, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's I'm not an AI engineer, otherwise I'd have a better answer for you.
Well, and I actually, because I couldn't get Copilot to do it and it would consistently not do it, I went to Chat GPT
Yep.
and I did the exact same procedure, and it spit out the Word document like I wanted it. There were some, like, instead of it being a bold paragraph with say 14, it took it to like a header format, so it took up a top quarter of the page. Well, that's simple. I
Yep.
select it, shrink it, and it's done. I mean, I
Yep.
didn't terribly mind it, but it only did that for one line. But everything
Yep.
else, it did it like the first time I dropped it in Copilot. So I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, AI is funny. I feel like I should know more about it, but I can't explain this one. So
Yeah. Well, that's why we don't give it control over the world, because that's Skynet is completely irrational.
yeah, yeah.
Or
It makes
actually,
me wonder. It's like, would it be better if it was more rational, or is it better off being irrational? I don't know.
I guess probably irrational, because you could talk it into something. When something is logically absolute, you can't talk around that. 1 plus
Yeah.
1 equals 2. I'm sorry, Peter. 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yeah, but there are plenty of people out there who believe that 1 + 1 = 1.
Sorry, Peter. It equals 2.
Oh man. So it's got me thinking with all this international travel I've been doing. I'm thinking again, and I really got to stop thinking and start acting. But I'm toying with the idea of heading south for a part of the winter, as we had previously discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe offline, I need to start picking your brain about Belize again or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, but I was also toying with the idea of when I make my next relocation move of owning my own internet condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I don't want to give that SOB the time of day, let alone more of my money, I'm thinking I'll probably sign up with a Starlink plan.
Yeah. Yeah. It works well in
And
Mexico.
yeah, so I wanted, is it you have it? Is it deployed there where you go in Mexico, or what do you got?
So our friends that are the missionaries there,
Yep,
that's their primary internet is Starlink.
got it. So I'm looking at it. I don't know. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be gone, I could temporarily disable my Verizon, back at home. I don't know that I would make any changes back in Vermont though, because I want to be able to have things monitored,
Hmm.
which, so, but what I was thinking is like, well, could I just get Starlink for my place in Vermont? And then when I go, take it with me, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at the portable version, right? But that doesn't let me monitor the internet access at the home when I'm not there.
Hmm.
But their portable option, the Roam option, the mini, it's only they give you two packages. One of them now is apparently 50 gigs of data per month. And it's what was it only it's like $50. So I was kind of surprised when I heard that one. They've got a couple different versions. There's like the heavy duty one was $165 a month. But yeah, the Roam first package, $50 a month for 50 gigs of Roam data versus unlimited for $165 a month.
Hmm.
So I was just like, I mean, I don't know, 50 gigs a month, that's more than a gig a day. So I think between that and a cellular data plan, that's probably sufficient for me for when I'm
Hmm.
traveling. So I don't know. I should probably pull some metrics on my router before I make that determination.
Yeah.
But, $50 a month, not too shabby to have internet like almost literally anywhere on the planet.
Yeah. Well, and you are talking about a more I don't know, say semi-permanent, not permanent, but like a longer term stay. So
Hmm.
I took a quick look, and the Starlink has a website, and you can check availability
Yep.
there, because they said not all countries support Starlink.
Right.
That while it is a satellite plan, there is a land connection portion associated with Starlink that needs to be in place. So it's not like your dish network. You just point it at the stars somewhere. As
Hmm.
long as you're pointing at that satellite, you'll get it. There has
Hmm.
to be ground support for part
But
of that.
uh, but I don't think that applies to Rome because in Rome you can take it out on a boat.
Yeah. It it says it'll only function in countries where Starlink is authorized. So there may
Right.
be some level of it on the water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess if you're in international waters, I don't know what
Hmm.
what happens there. I would assume it works in international waters. But,
Yeah.
if you like stray a little too close to North Korea, maybe they cut you off. I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah. Well, that's worth doing some research. I mean, it really depends on where you go, because
yeah, yep, it does. And I'm pretty sure if I recall, unless they've changed it, I think that they still let you do like the month to month option.
hmm
So, you can buy, yeah, it's like whatever, however many months, and then, you can pause service while you don't need it. Of course, there's still the $500 hardware investment, right? You got to buy the kit first. So,
yeah.
it's not just, plunk down $50 and you're good.
Hmm.
So, but still, if it's something I'm going to be doing for a while, and then if I could repurpose it somewhere else, either using it at home or using it at, my place up in Vermont or something like that, that makes it that much more palatable. So
Hmm. Yeah. And if you want to take it on the road, you could put it on the back of your Cybertruck and just go.
there you go. Well, I would figure, I mean, it should come built into a Cybertruck, don't you think? I mean that Cybertruck should have a power wall in the back, and it should have Solar City panels across the top, and it should have Starlink built in. Come on, Elon, get on it.
So it does say on the water, high speed, the roam plan in coastal and inland waters. So for
Right,
coverage on international waters, enable ocean mode. So,
right. I wasn't planning on doing international water boating, so I don't think that affects me so much.
well,
So,
it's only $9.99 for maritime.
And that rhymes.
But I mean, if you've got a boat that you can go around the world, $9.99, you don't.
That's a drop in the ocean bucket.
Yeah. If you even think about $1,000, then you're not in the right.
You're in the wrong boat.
You're in the wrong boat, literally.
Wrong boat. Yeah. Well, it's worth looking at. It's worth thinking about. So, but that's the thing is if I did that too, I probably wouldn't need as much international data, for my cell phone. I don't even know where I'm at right now. It's been, I'm like about halfway through my trip here, and I haven't looked at my data usage, but I'm sure I'm getting up there. I forget how many gigs I got and stuff. And then when I hit that cap, it's like, oh, from here on, you have 3G speeds.
Yeah.
I remember when that was fast.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be fast today.
No,
So,
no. It's fine for texting.
yeah, it's great.
Not for MMS, but for texting.
Just text. Yes, plain old text. Yeah. Heck, I can do that by satellite now. Why would I want to do that on data, right?
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I need to wrap up. I've got a hard stop meeting coming up. So,
well, let's not make that any harder than it has to.
All right. So, dear listener, we do want your feedback. If you'd like to discuss a particular topic, then you can drop us a line at www.blurringthelinespodcast.com. And of course, you can find Peter at yogawithpeter.com, friendswithbrews.com. You won't be able to find him at berlin.com because he will be gone. But you can find me at Roaming Roan Lavender Farm at rrlavenderfarm.com. And with that, we will hit the big red button.
I didn't say it.
I can find it.
Find it.